What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing great today because we've got something really cool to talk about. Two Point Museum just dropped Update 6.0. And honestly, this one's packed with some of the most creative and unexpected additions we've seen yet. Whether you've been running your museum empire since day one, or you're still figuring out how to keep your janitors from quitting mid-shift, this update is something that's going to make you smile, laugh, or at least say, okay, that's actually genius. So yeah, Two Point Studios has done it again. They've somehow managed to keep this game feeling fresh with every new patch, and Update 6.0 is no exception. This time, they've teamed up with none other than Vampire Survivors. And yep, you heard that right. That chaotic, pixel-packed, bullet hell game somehow found its way into the clean, quirky world of museum management. It sounds weird on paper, but it works way better than you'd expect. The new content opens up through the Digiverse region, and as soon as you load in, you'll notice 3 new points of interest waiting for you: Mad Forest, Inlaid Library, and Capella Magna. Each one of these brings its own little twist to how you expand your museum's collection, and the attention to detail is actually pretty amazing. Now, here's where it gets fun. These new exhibits are straight out of Vampire Survivors' world, and there are 10 new ones to hunt down in total. The artwork, the names, even the little descriptions, they nailed the vibe. It's got that retro gothic charm with just enough two-point humor sprinkled on top to make it fit perfectly into your museum's chaotic ecosystem. But they didn't stop there. The devs also added something called Mythical Gear, which basically lets your staff equip some of the most iconic Vampire Survivors weapons as tools. Imagine your janitor walking around with garlic equipped, just casually warding off invisible evil spirits between mopping floors. Or your researchers lugging around Santa water like it's the most natural thing in the world. It's that classic two-point charm. Completely ridiculous, but somehow completely right for this universe. And speaking of ridiculous in the best way possible, we've got a new VIP guest too. Say hello to Poe Ratcho, who's pretty much the most distinguished undead figure you'll ever have wandering your halls. The animations, the little quips, everything about this character feels like a love letter to Vampire Survivors fans. Plus, if you're the kind of player who loves customizing your museum down to the wallpaper pattern, this update's got you covered too. They added themed decor so you can create your own spooky Mad Forest corner or an eerie inlaid library exhibit wing. There are new wallpapers, flooring, and decorations that totally sell the aesthetic, and it gives your museum this nice seasonal flair without needing to wait for an actual Halloween event. Though speaking of that, they've also added some seasonal items. The boutique set makes a return, and it's got all the goofy Halloween charm you'd expect from Two Point's art team. Now, even though the Vampire Survivors collab is obviously the big headline here, Update 6.0 also brings a mountain of fixes and quality of life improvements that longtime players are really going to appreciate. Like, remember how Expedition XP used to feel a bit sluggish? You'd send your team out, wait forever, and it barely felt like progress? That's been tuned up in a big way. The growth potion now gives a massive 125% XP boost instead of 50%, and the Expedition Journal got bumped up to 25% from 15%. It's one of those subtle but satisfying changes that makes progression feel smoother without completely breaking balance. You'll actually see your experts growing at a pace that feels rewarding, especially when you're juggling multiple expeditions at once. Another cool thing they've worked on is staff behavior. They've made employees a lot smarter when it comes to taking breaks. It used to be kind of random. Someone would just wander off to the vending machine, even though the staff room had everything they needed right there. But now, staff will prioritize their break spots based on their traits. So if you've got someone who's bean-brained, they'll beeline straight for the coffee machine every time. If they're a lard lad or lard lass, they're hitting the snack table like clockwork. It adds a tiny bit of personality to your staff that makes the world feel more alive, and it's such a neat detail for players who love micromanaging efficiency. Fantasy experts also got a nice little upgrade. Before, their development kind of felt limited, but now they can improve their stats through existing qualifications like aerodynamics, analysis, happy thoughts, and survival skills. It's small, but it opens up more interesting combinations for your specialist teams. You can create experts that are both productive and a little quirky, which fits the 2-point vibe perfectly. And yeah, of course, there's a bunch of bug fixes too, but not just boring minor stability improvements. They actually hit some long-standing annoyances that players have been mentioning for ages. Donation stands now pay out correctly. Humidity actually affects dry climate exhibits the way it's supposed to, and they even tackled performance issues when you've got a ton of mods running. That last one is huge because, let's be honest, a lot of us love to mod this game to absolute chaos levels. They also optimized renovation performance, which means your game won't lag out when you're trying to remodel half your museum at once. It's all about making the experience smoother so you can spend more time expanding and less time waiting on the game to catch up. Now, if you're wondering how to access all this new Vampire Survivors content, it's actually really straightforward. You just need to make sure you've unlocked the Digiverse, which was introduced back in the previous big update. Once you've got that open, head to your Expeditions menu, find the Digiverse region, and you'll see those new Vampire Survivors points of interest ready to explore. Send your experts out there, collect the exhibits, bring back the gear, and watch your museum turn into a bizarre mashup of culture and chaos. And the best part? It's all part of the free patch. No DLC required for this crossover. It's just straight up included with the update, which is honestly awesome. Something that really stands out to me about this update is how 2 Point Studios continues to understand what makes their community tick. They know players love that mix of humor, charm, and depth. Every patch feels like it's made by people who play their own game, who notice the little frustrations, and then come up with clever, funny ways to fix or expand on them. Adding Vampire Survivors could have easily been a gimmick, but instead it feels like an extension of the world. It's a crossover that respects both games. It's silly, sure, but it's also done with care and polish. And the timing couldn't be better either. Releasing it right around Halloween season gives it that extra spooky touch, but it's not limited time content, so you can enjoy it whenever you want. Plus, for players who maybe took a break from the game and are thinking about jumping back in, this update is a perfect reason. It adds enough new stuff to get you hooked again, but also improves the core mechanics that make day-to-day museum management more fun. One thing I've really noticed since playing around with it is how much better the pacing feels now. Expeditions progress faster, staff routines feel smoother, and the game just has this nice flow that wasn't quite there before. You can tell they've been listening to feedback. It's not just about slapping on a new theme and calling it a day. It's about refining the foundation while giving us something totally new to enjoy. And let's talk visuals for a second, because wow, they nailed the vibe of those Vampire Survivors exhibits. They managed to take that pixel-heavy gothic atmosphere and translate it into the polished, colorful 2 Point art style without losing the essence. Mad Forest looks wild with all its eerie greens and purples. Inlaid Library feels mysterious and old school, and Capella Magna has this grand, almost haunting tone that works so well in a museum setting. You can tell the art team had fun with this crossover. It's creative, playful, and feels like something the devs genuinely enjoyed making. If you're someone who loves building themed wings in your museum, this update is your dream come true. The new decorations and wallpapers are so well done. And when you combine them with the seasonal boutique items, you can create some seriously fun setups. I made an entire Vampire Survivors wing next to my fantasy section. And it weirdly works. The contrast between elegant artifacts and undead chaos is peak 2 Point energy. And yeah, we've got to talk about that floor chicken casserole. It's one of those silly little Easter eggs that only 2 Point would think to add. It's referencing the healing item from Vampire Survivors, but now it's an actual dish you can serve in your cafeteria. It's goofy, it's clever, and it just shows how much personality these devs pack into every corner of the game. As far as performance goes, it's been pretty stable. The optimization tweaks definitely help, especially if you've got a large museum. I haven't run into any serious frame drops, even with a bunch of exhibits and decorations packed into one area. That's a big improvement from earlier builds where too many objects could tank your performance. Overall, this update is exactly the kind of thing that keeps 2 Point Museum feeling alive. It's got the humor, it's got the crossover energy, and it's got the meaningful gameplay improvements that actually make your experience better. If you're a longtime player, this feels like a nice reward for sticking with the game. And if you're new or just coming back after a break, it's a perfect time to jump in. You've got fresh content to explore, smarter systems to manage, and that signature 2 Point charm that somehow makes even the weirdest ideas work. So yeah, hats off to the devs for this one. They didn't just give us a crossover, they gave us a fully integrated experience that fits right into the world of 2 Point. It's fun, it's creative, and it reminds us why we love this series in the first place. Whether you're expanding your museum, decorating for Halloween, or just sending your staff off to chase digital vampires, Update 6.0 delivers in all the right ways. Anyway, that's my breakdown of everything new in 2 Point Museum's latest update. Let me know what you think about this one. Are you excited to try out the Vampire Survivors content? Are you already building your spooky exhibit halls? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more updates just like this. I'll be back soon with some gameplay and maybe even a full walkthrough of the new Digiverse missions. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.